you worry about? Do you worry about school? Do you worry about your family? Do you worry about your friends or your job or the environment? What is wrong with worrying? Can it be harmful? Worrying is one of the biggest problems in our society, and it will continue to be, unless we all learn how to feel the fear and do it anyway, by Margie Ware. Last night, while I lay thinking here, some what-ifs crawled inside my ear, and pranced and partied all night long, and sang their same old what-if song. What if I start to cry? What if I get sick and die? What if they start a war? What if my parents get divorced? What if I flunk that test? What if green hair grows on my chest? Everything seems swell. And then the nighttime what-ifs strike again. As a youngster, this poem by Shel Silverstein delighted me. But now that I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I realize how potentially dangerous the thoughts and ideas expressed in this poem can be. Instead of saying, wow, I could get a good grade in school, or maybe tomorrow I'll go to the swimming pool, Silverstein's speaker is focusing on the negative aspects of these possibilities. Many of us have taken on the traits of the child in this poem. We think of the most trivial things and then contemplate how they could or might go wrong. For example, have you ever walked into a round of competition with the horrifying idea that you might forget your entire speech? As a judge, have you ever feared that all the competitors will be so wonderful you couldn't bear to give one of us last place? Maybe right now, one of you is agonizing over whether or not you remembered to turn off the iron this morning. This behavior is more commonly defined as worrying, and it is one of the biggest problems handicapping all of us. I've observed that about half the people I know worry habitually, and some foresee impending doom around every corner. People in our society are overwrought with worry and stress. What do they worry about? Everything. According to Red Book magazine, in the 1950s, personal and family matters topped the list of what people worried about. Will Bobby ask Susie to go steady? And did Billy make the basketball team? Or major issues? Although people in today's society are still concerned with these issues, our main focus of worry has shifted to agonizing over job security and finances, while worries about health and the environment aren't far behind. After talking with some friends, I noticed that a lot of their concerns are about college. Will their grades be good enough to get them into the school of their choice? What will happen to relationships with friends, boyfriends, and girlfriends once they have been separated for a prolonged period of time? Will they succeed at college? When they graduate, will they be able to find a career opportunity in the field they wish to pursue? Other concerns are about not being able to meet deadlines and failure in general. So, the question lies before us. What is wrong with worrying? After all, it does prepare us for the worst possible scenario. However, there are many ways in which worrying can have a negative impact on our life. It hinders people's ability to take chances, and can cause sickness, lack of enjoyment in life, and even the fear of living life. I have one friend in particular who's a senior in high school and very concerned about going away to college. Right now, she's deciding between two colleges. She applied to a state university and is very interested in becoming a part of a program they have there. However, her other option is to go to a smaller college with a good friend. She is so afraid that she will not make it into the program and will be generally miserable at the state university that she's willing to let this wonderful opportunity go to waste in order to feel the security of her high school buddy to share the new experience of going away to college with, even though she would have never considered going to this small college on her own. It is only because of her friend, who has allowed her the opportunity to avoid all possibility of failure, and avoid all possibility in succeeding in what she wants to do. Dr. Susan Jeffers, author of the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, writes, "The only way to get rid of the fear of doing something is to go out and do it." The Love Song of Alfred J. Prufrock by T.S. Eliot tells the story of a man who has spent his entire life telling himself, And indeed, there will be 100 times for indecisions, and 100 times for visions and revisions. And indeed, there will be plenty of time to wonder, do I dare? And indeed, while Mr. Prufrock is trying to decide an answer to that question, he's missing out on a lot of valuable opportunities. Prufrock admits his fears to the audience, and because of these fears, which have caused him the inability to jump at life's opportunities, he is doomed to live on the edges of life. Prufrock should have listened to Reebok. Life is not a spectator sport. Remember that one Saturday morning that would basically determine your entire future? Maybe some of you underclassmen have not yet had the opportunity of taking the SATs. Well, here's a little description of what you're in for. Every time you think about it, you can feel a headache coming on. The night before, you can't sleep as words you've never heard before float through your head, jumbled with math formulas you never thought you'd have to remember. Then finally, the morning comes as you sit gripping the edges of your table waiting for the test booklets to be handed out. Butterflies dance through your stomach. Although these symptoms may seem to be just a case of the nerves, in reality, they are the physical signs of worrying. Headaches, insomnia, stomach troubles, even ulcers can be caused by worrying. Now that we know exactly how worrying can harm our lives, the next step we need to take is to find out why we worry so much, and more importantly, how to stop it. The answer to the why question is quite simple. Like most other dysfunctional behaviors in our society, worrying is a trait passed on to us by our parents. Overly cautious parents tend to exaggerate the dangers of a situation to their child. In turn, their children become more aware of the possible hazards of a situation and prone to habitual worrying. Although this trait is ingrained in us at a young age, there is a way to break the cycle. The first thing you need to do is to identify what it is you often worry about. Then, look inside yourself and attempt to discover why this subject causes you so much anxiety. Once you have discovered the source for your worries, you must face them head on. This takes a lot of courage, but one thing to remember is that worrying basically erodes the quality of life. Many of us are so busy worrying that we can't concentrate on and accomplish what we need to get done. David Viscott, author of the book Risking, tells us that there is simply no way we can grow up without taking some chances. This doesn't mean just jump right into something without considering the possible hazards of a situation, but if we spend all our time worrying about the dangers, we're going to miss out on a lot of valuable opportunities. We may get hurt or fail in some endeavor, but we can use these setbacks as stepping stones for the future. We may have the fear of failing or getting hurt, but we must remember that these wounds will heal. However, regret due to a missed opportunity lasts a lifetime. In the Bible, Matthew 6:27, God asks us, can any of you, by worrying, add a single moment to your lifespan? We sometimes let worry overtake our lives. We must remember that we control our fears. Through this strength, we will be able to conquer each new day without ever stopping to ask ourselves, what if